Hi, welcome back to Mania UK. I'm Danni, I'm here with Tembi, and we have a wonderful friend of ours,
Nandi.
Hello. Happy to have you here today, Nandi.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming. Okay, so we're into February now, and I thought it would be good for us to touch base on our New Year's resolutions. Are we setting them in this day and age? Are we just setting goals? Are we setting ourselves up for failure by setting New Year's resolutions? Do we do this anymore? We're just going to discuss this because I know one thing is, since I went back to the gym in January, you can't even park your car in the car park. It is so packed there. It's like, it really is a thing of everybody, oh, it's January, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to the gym. And it's crazy. I will go to the gym and there's nowhere to park. I have to drive around and around and around to get a space. It's packed. Everything's packed. There's all new members in there. It's mad in there. And I just think to myself, will it be like this in April? Like, does this happen every single year? Do people say, I'm going to get fit this year. This is going to be my year. And then by April, they're giving up. You know, what's the situation?
I think you're being generous with April.
Once the sun comes out, everyone's down at the pub.
Maybe. So do you set New Year's resolutions? What do you do?
I don't anymore. When I was younger, I used to. Every single year I would sit down, like New Year's Eve or whatever, or a couple of days before New Year's Eve, and I'd kind of write myself a list. I never used to do the storyboards, but I'd always have either a mental list or I'd write a list of what it is that I wanted to achieve. Mainly, for me, it would always be, I need to lose weight and the gym whole thing. And It would definitely be gone by second week of January. It would definitely, second week of January, it's over and done with. I'm finished with it. I never felt guilty about it, and I never really looked at it as a failure point. But in life, what I found for me over time is, I just found that if I want to set myself a goal, why am I waiting for New Year's Eve? So, and I used to do that and with a lot of things in life. If it wasn't New Year's Eve, I'd be like, I'm going to start a diet on Monday. Because for some reason, Monday was the only day.
Yeah, Monday's a good day.
You know? But what's happened, I guess, as I've grown or whatever, is if I just decide I want to do something, I'm just going to do it. It could be 5 p.m. on a Sunday and I could decide I'm doing a college course tomorrow, and if that's what I decide, I'm going to look into it and start researching it and doing it from that moment on. I don't give myself a start date anymore.
Okay.
And because I don't have a start date, I feel there's no pressure on an end date or an achievement goal.
Yeah. Right.
Does that make sense?
But does that mean that it slows down the progress of you achieving that goal?
For me now, no. Previously, yes.
Okay.
When I used to set myself this New Year's resolution, maybe it was actually setting myself up for failure, because I really would be like, oh, I've got to do this thing. And then if 2 weeks later I haven't maintained it or stuck to it, it's like, oh, well, that failed, so that's gone. And then I ignore that again now until next New Year's resolution.
Okay.
Whereas now I don't feel like that, because whenever it is I make that decision and I'm going to do it, that's the day. And from that moment onwards, I'm working towards that. And if it doesn't work out or plans change, I don't feel as if I'm not committed to something. You know, when you set it as a resolution, it's almost as if there's some sort of commitment you've broken.
Yes.
But if I just set it as in, this is how I feel today, this is what I want to try and achieve for myself today, tomorrow that might change. It's no commitment around it. And I'm allowed to change it. And the deadline for it's allowed to move. And the goal is allowed to move. Do you get what I mean? So I think it's, for me, it's a mindset thing.
All right, so just before we carry on, just tell our viewers and listeners a bit about yourself, how old you are, do you have children, what do you do for a job, so that we have a little background history. Nandi.
I'm 40, guys. 40.
Yeah.
As of November 2021, I turned 40, life-changing. So yeah, I turned 40. I've got one daughter, she's 11 years old. And I work, it's difficult for me to say really what my job is, because I guess I don't really have any one title, but I work in the music industry, but the very boring side of the music industry, the accounting side of it. And I've worked in that for years, for the last 20 years. I'm quite established, I think, within my job, in my career, in my industry. What we do, I'm quite known at what, I do and how I do it. So I feel quite confident, I guess, really in that space. So my official title would be that I'm a senior pre-sales executive, but I
love a good title. I love a good title.
Pre-sales exec.
But this is the thing. I don't like a title.
I do a lot of work. Remember when I used to have those big titles? I'm like,
Do you know, I hate a title, and I was forced to take this title because they needed to do an organisation chart. I'm quite happy to just be known as, I do a bit of everything. I've done it for a long time, do you know what I mean? But they wanted a title for this organisational chart. But as much as I have that title, I still do a bit of everything. If I'm in the office and somebody asks me to make a coffee, I'm quite happy to do it. And if I'm in the office and somebody wants me to go to, I don't know, Warner Brothers and give a talk to 200 people, I'm quite happy to go and do that as well. So,
confident.
Yeah.
Confident,
Actually,
friendly,
there's a lot of
down to earth.
South African Zimbabweans that tend to go into music industry. Like I've found, yeah, loads in London. Sorry,
the common bond,
the common
between
bond,
us.
Yeah, when you said that, I never realised you did that actually.
Yeah, not that, but I'm not creative. I cannot draw a stick man. Like I'm so not creative. I'm not creative at all in the slightest. But I think maybe my strength or my thing is I think I'm relatable. I'm quite easy to talk to.
Yeah.
So I think in any kind of office business kind of environment, I can succeed because I think it's easy for me to communicate with people, and I think that's really the skill that you need really for that job. You know?
You're a very much people's person, and I don't know. Even if you are judging someone, you would never know it. You know, I'm someone that if I see something,
you do.
I'm like,
she's like,
I'm an open book via my face and your
mouth.
Yes.
All right.
Let's not talk it down.
I remember, I've just got to say, I don't know, Nandi might not find this funny, but the chipped nail varnish story.
Do you know what? Under this table is chipped nail varnish. It doesn't change then. That's one thing about me, very consistent.
I think I said a comment to Nandi once because one of my pet hates, we all have them, is chipped nail varnish. So if something chips, I have, like right now, my toes have nothing on them because I couldn't handle them being chipped. I would be distraught looking at them. And, you know, even if a nail breaks, you know, it's very difficult for me to deal with it. So, but I would always see Nandi, even before she had a child. You know, when you've got a child, you can kind of let someone off for having chipped nail varnish. But before Nandi even had a child, she would always have chipped nails. And I think I said a comment once, and everyone sort of thought it was really, really rude.
No, it wasn't the comment. It wasn't the comment. Yes, Thames. It was how she said it. Because she was really disgusted with me at this point. You know what it is with Danielle? For Danielle, she picks up on really small things. For me, chip nail varnish is I'm so laid back. I would never notice it on somebody else. I would never notice it on somebody else. And even if I did, I wouldn't think anything of it on somebody else. But like Danielle said, clearly it irks her. So clearly she had to let me know.
It just annoys me. And you know the grunge people, they always seem to have like black chipped nail varnish. And I always, if I see a grunge person, I'm looking out for if they've got chipped nails or not. Are they a chipped
I wish
nail
I
grunge
could
person?
care. I wish I could care.
I don't know
Just
why. I don't know why,
me.
but there's we all have our things, don't we, that we're irritated by. And my things that I'm irritated by are just really stupid things. You know, they are things like, why didn't my child put that box of cereal away after her? But we all face, but
that one I face.
Yes. There are other ridiculous things that do frustrate me as well. Okay, so we learned a little bit about Nandi and her life as well as her toes situation. And Tembi, what would you say about
I don't make them. I don't.
Never have?
I think I tried, and then I was like you. Mine would probably be like 5 days in, like this isn't going to work out for me. I'm done. I've never been one, I'm going to the gym in the new year. I normally do that like in April when I'm going, oh my God, I've got a holiday coming up.
Right, yeah.
That's when my kind of, I need to, but I've never, I think prior to having children, my body was okay. So I never really needed to go to the gym. The jobs I was doing, I was travelling all the time and running up and down in London. So that was my exercise and I was going out. So, so I didn't.
You were going out.
I was out in the parties, y'all. So I didn't, that wasn't a big thing for me. I think my biggest ones were kind of like goals for career.
Okay.
or personal goals into personal growth.
Yeah.
They are the things that I was kind of January. What does my next year look like? You know, what is it I want to do? What is it? Those kind of things, and they would change drastically. Like we were talking earlier, weren't we, about starting new businesses, or you know, and then I'd start a business and then get bored and then do something else. Things
if
like that.
If I look at you, so I look at both of you, and you, like you say, your career has always been quite the same, safe. I'm sure you used to do something else years ago, didn't you?
Well, years ago, but I've been in this job for like 22 years, so.
Oh, okay. Well, no then. But yeah, okay. So Nandi's always kind of done the same sort of thing, and been quite stable. Whereas since I've known you, when you went into sort of the school teaching role, I was like, oh, and you know, you're working in your visual merchandising,
marketing,
so you've really changed. And on the side, you've always done businesses as well, like creative businesses, making your own clothing, things like that. And now you're going to be studying in, I guess you are working with children, but child psychology and things like that. So it's like you are changing your career path several times, which I think is inspiring, because I think a lot of people do kind of get stuck in a place in their life where they just think, I have to earn this amount of money because I've got children and I need a stable income. And a lot of people I speak to, I've got a couple of friends actually that are going to come on this podcast. One of my friends, she will say, I'm in this job, it pays well, I can't get this amount of money on 3 days a week anywhere else, I don't like it, and I'm staying in it. And she would sort of stay in that place, whereas I can't see myself doing that, and I definitely can't see you doing that.
But do you know the funny thing is, you just touched up with me going from, so I started visual, but my aunt was a fashion designer, so I started in that, then I did visual, then I went into the marketing thing, and then I came out of that and I went into school, and now I'm kind of wanting to do psychology. But with everything I've done, it all kind of ties in together. So training, in most of my jobs when I was doing marketing, I was actually training anyway, teaching people. So leaving there was because I just thought, oh my God, this is soulless. Like, I'm teaching people how to spend their money. And then the psychology of what I was doing, and you know that whole conversation of you've got to look like you're attaining to something. And I'm like making, doing marketing campaigns with people, and then dressing up a shop for someone to go and buy a pair of £400 shoes when they probably shouldn't afford it. I was like, this is awful. Like, this is bad. I need to teach someone something different. So going into school, I think it's really having my own kids and seeing how life got to them. And I was like, you know what, let me just try. And I'm going to be honest, the first idea was like, I just want a job where I can spend time with my children. Because prior to that, when I was at those other companies, I was travelling to Europe every week. And I wasn't, and Sequoia was crying. Like, she was crying. And I was like, I need a job where I can just be with my children. And I found it, and I've loved it ever since.
But would you say that your career directions have been based and chosen around, first of all, what you wanted to do, then by motherhood? Or would you say that it doesn't sound like it's anything to do with, right, I need to earn this much money, I'm going to set this goal for this year, or by the time I'm 30 I want to have this and this, so I need to have this kind of thing.
But that's why I don't do resolutions, because I
feel like you're quite a free spirit. I've always felt like that about you.
I can't to think, and I suppose this is why I don't get into relationships, because my thought pattern of, oh my God, I have to do this for this amount of time or forever, it makes me feel really, really nervous.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I have to change different elements.
But then with the relationships, obviously this is a whole other conversation. We can't have it now because we'd be here for 2 weeks. But your relationships that you had, when you were in them, were you thinking this is forever, or were you, if you're frightened of sticking with something, even a job, and you're saying this is why you don't want to be in relationships forever, it frightens you. But when you were having your children and you were in those relationships and in love,
oh my God, I was like, I'm not going to leave this relationship. I didn't go into having 2 children with 2 people like that. But I think what I'm trying to say is, and it kind of goes back to the resolution thing. I don't set resolutions because I know myself and I know that I wake up every day and something is different.
Right.
So for me to set a resolution, it doesn't make sense to me, because I could say today, I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week and this is my goal, you know, and I want to lose this amount of pounds. I'm guaranteed I'll wake up the first day and go, I'll have a coffee, I'll go gym later. I'm realistic in how I
but that
do
is
things.
that's different.
I mean?
Because
I think
that's different. Fitness and jobs, and totally sort of different. I think, because some people can be highly successful and don't go to the gym, and you know that side of their health is not necessarily, you know, key for them or priority. Whereas other people, it is a priority. For you, it's a priority. For me, it's a priority. It is something I have to do. It's something I need to do for my mental health. I know, based on conversations we've had, you feel like for yourself, your weight, to maintain your weight, and also for your head, you feel like you need to be working out. You enjoy it.
Yeah. It's for me, and it's come later with age. I mean, I struggled with my weight all of my life, really, but there came a certain point where it stopped being, going to the gym stopped being a chore and more became a time for me to clear my head. It's like a headspace thing for me. And the benefits of that are obviously your health and allowing you to control your weight or that kind of stuff. But really, that hour I take for myself is really an hour for myself. Yeah. And for me, while I'm sweating, I can't think about anything else. Yeah. I can't think about work. I can't think about my daughter. I can't think about the house or whatever it is. The only thing I can think about is trying to lift that leg up another 10 times. And having that blank mind is important for me, because my mind's never blank any other time.
Yes.
So that's why it's become part of my daily life. But
when you don't do it, how do you feel?
Lethargic. I feel congested because I haven't had that clear space.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But I think what you were talking about when you're saying about the commitment and how it is different from the job, when you talk about being nervous about having to do something constantly or committing to do something constantly, I feel nervous about not
committing.
I'm the complete opposite. Like, if I now think about my life next week and I'm not doing gym Monday to Friday at between 12 and 2 or whatever, I'm like, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I feel like that about change, which is why I've been in the same job for so long. When I think about your career, you talk about how many things I've done a lot of things in my career, but in the same company. Yeah. Okay, we've had different owners in those different times, and I've worked in support, and I've been a business analyst, and you know, I've travelled a lot doing trade shows and so forth. I've done sales. Now I teach, you know, and I train people in our industry, not just within our company. So I've done a lot of different things over those 20 years, but the stability of it is and if somebody was to, if I was I enjoy my job, luckily, but if I was to stop enjoying my job tomorrow and be forced to go back out in the workplace, like, for me that's like, oh my god, oh my god,
but do you know
just
what?
the thought of it.
I think mine comes down to my mum was never scared to just like, I remember there were times she'd be like, we're going to Dominican Republic. What are you talking about? I didn't even know we were going on holiday. Like, all right, cool. We're going Greece, and we're living in B&Bs. Like, we're up to that, you know. So my life from a very young age has always been, let's just go. I do, like, don't get me wrong. I do need, like, my jobs. I've always done is to, I suppose, make sure that I'm stable. But once I start falling out of love and it becomes a chore rather than a love, that's when I'm like, I cannot, because I've been signed off work many a times when my job becomes a chore. And if it's messing with my mental health, no, I'm sorry, I don't care how much I love my job, and I've loved my jobs. You know, I really have, and it's taught me a lot. And like I said, each job I've had has led me to where I am now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has done. Like, I do small little courses, and I did one course about the psychology of marketing and fashion. Yeah. You know, it all comes full circle and stuff like that. So when you look at it like that, and then, you know, the psyche of children and how, you know, marketing affects them. You look at YouTube and all that stuff, and your kids are relaying bloody video adverts to you,
Oh,
and you're like, oh my god, like what is this? It's like mind control.
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of mind control, you know, and that I think that's for me. So going a bit off topic, but when it comes to resolutions, I have goals, but I tend to have new moon goals. Do you know? And it sounds all like spiritual.
I know nothing about anything to do
But
with
every
that.
time there's a new moon, I will sit down and I will write goals for my month or my next.
Really?
And I tick off certain
So
things.
how often do we have a new moon? This is like a different realm to me.
Same.
Now you're putting every 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
So we just had one last week.
Okay.
So what kind of things are you writing on this new moon list?
So it would be things like so for instance, this month, what have I got on there? So I need to contact. So I'm going to be studying again. So I need to contact.
You need to move in a little bit.
The body, the place where I'm going to be studying to do a couple of things. So it'll be that. It will be things like booking things for future, so like holidays and things like that. Because my mind is a mess majority of the days. You know, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
I need to do this. I walk into a room some days and I stand there for 15 minutes and I'm like, what did I come in here for? A whole 15 minutes, you know, not like okay, and then I'll find something else. You know, living room.
Yeah.
Pick up the washing, put it there, go out the room. The washing's still there 4 days later. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's crazy. So it's just small goals for the month that I could, almost like a to-do list, but it's like a goal to-do list of things that then helps me to get to this place, then get to that place, and then I've done
small milestones.
something. Yeah. Rather than going, this is what my year looks like, and this is what I'm going to do. Because if I look at my year, I'm not even going to know
scary.
where do I start and where do I finish.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And that's what I do, opposed to, you know, I did used to do vision boards. I used to love them. But then I'd get disheartened because then I'd look at it and then say, I'll go, oh, in January I want to do this or whatever. And then I'll get to like April and be like, oh my God, that hasn't even come into fruition. And then I'll just put it away.
Yeah.
So now I'm like small.
Yeah. I think small definitely works. And I used to set myself New Year's resolutions and couldn't ever reach those goals. And it was big things, you know, big things like kids, babies, houses, or whatever it was. And, or even, I don't know, I think everybody, I don't know, when you were younger, you say, oh, by 30, I'm going to have my house, I'm going to have my...
White picket fence,
I never did that.
Oh, God, yeah.
I just, there's so many goals that I used to set myself and things that I'm realising about myself. You know, I just continually set myself up for failure, which in turn ended up making me feel like I was a failure and being angry and annoyed at myself. Yeah, because it's an inner turmoil of, God, but I've said that I'm going to do this and I haven't done it. And it wasn't even to do with anyone else. It's the fact that I just knew that I was supposed to do this, this and this, and I haven't achieved this, this and this again for another year. So now I do the similar things and I just sort of have smaller goals. So it might just be weekly goals where I just want to do a certain thing. And I always have so much to do, and being self-employed and having my own business, there's so many things to do all the time, and there's nobody breathing over my shoulder. You've got to do this, it has to be me. And that's difficult to manage because you've got to manage yourself all the time. And you know, I work under pressure, suddenly something's happening, I've got to get it done. So I just kind of found that my list is always so long of things to do. So if I just say, right, okay, within the next couple of weeks, I want to, like, we're in my dining room right now, okay? I had 2 Christmas trees. Fortunately, this house is big enough for 2. The upstairs one got taken down when you're supposed to take it down, and we're sitting in the room with the second Christmas tree, which half the decorations have been taken off, but I got sidetracked. So, and we haven't really been using this dining room because I've just got new chairs just now. We're christening them actually. So I just have kind of left this dining room, and it's only now that it's really become apparent that it's February the something and the tree is still up.
To be fair, it's only like the 6th, so...
No, let's not be fair, Tembi. It's meant to come down the day after Christmas. It's happening
Is it?
the whole
Fair,
month.
I
Yes.
took mine down like the day after Boxing Day.
Yeah,
I said, that's it, man.
that's it. I'm done
I
with
don't know if I'm
it.
doing Christmas trees next year. I don't know if I'm doing
It's
it.
long. I had twigs one year.
I do not enter the
Lights
new
on
year.
Christmas.
Yeah, I don't enter the new year with a Christmas tree.
No.
New Year's Day, me and Nee take it down. Done. Everything goes down.
Yeah,
We've
well,
got
that's
little
my
angels
one of
on
my
there.
resolutions is to. This would be not a resolution. I could say it'd be a goal. The dining room needs to be sorted out. So if I tried to say to myself, right, I'm going to do it this week, and things get a bit on top, then I'd end up getting to the end of the week and being like, oh, and feeling bad that I didn't achieve that goal. So I would then say, all right, by the end of February, I want to have sorted that. So then I'll give myself a little bit of time. Then I can come in and do bits and flip because I'm a
And
flitter.
that's the thing, and this is why you have to be careful, because in this kind of remit where you go, I'm going to do it, and you go, I'm going to do it in a day. That's crazy.
Is that what you do?
No, but what I'm saying to you, give yourself, do you know what, 10 minutes. Monday I'm going to do 10 minutes. So Monday will be take
get the tree down.
tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah.
That's like me telling you.
We need
No,
the
so
tree
that's
gone.
one. Okay, done. Tuesday might be another thing, 5-10 minutes, just literally, and you will see
Yes.
there's so much more progress.
I might try
rather
that
than-
actually. I might actually
Yeah.
adopt that theory and just try to come in because it's quite a big task. There's a lot of things in this room, and it's been used as a junk room basically.
Yeah.
And there's a lot in here that I don't have a home for, so it actually overwhelms my mind thinking about where I'm going to put things. So just coming in and just doing a little bit each day and saying, well, I'm going to spend 15 minutes in the dining room each day would actually be a good thing to adopt.
The kids can do that one.
Yeah, well, you're
No, they can't because I like the decorations to go.
OCD.
I like
They can.
I don't have OCD, but I like the decorations to go in a certain order when they're put
I
away.
can't even lie, my kids didn't take down my tree. They don't even put up my tree.
I'll put it up.
You must be
But-
mad.
NJ did put all the decorations up because it was in
It's
here.
here.
It wasn't the front room one. There wasn't the main one. So.
But yeah,
It was
no,
nice.
bit by bit, and that's what I think.
But fitness goals, I didn't write it down. I didn't tell anyone. I just, I knew that I wasn't happy with myself. And if you've watched or listened to any of the previous Mania podcasts, you'll know that I was overweight for myself and I wasn't happy. So I was trying to work out, and I enjoy working out and I love working out, but being self-employed, if I have 2 hours, and I've got a baby too that's 1.5 now, as well as 2 other children. I'm thinking, I've got 2 hours. What work can I get done? And splitting that time between fitness and work was really difficult for me. So I'd always think, well, I'd get into the work. Oh, I can't go and work out now. So it just wasn't happening. Then for my own mental health, I wasn't having that me time, and I wasn't doing me. And I'm given from an empty cup, and I'm having lots of emotional highs and lows just as a human in general. So I thought to myself, when can I go to the gym? My partner, his schedule is too unreliable for me to be able to say, right, 8 o'clock every night, I'm going to put the kids to bed and go. I couldn't do that. So when everyone is in bed, in the morning is a time that I worked out I could go. So there are classes that happen at my gym at 6:15 and 6:30 in the morning. And I worked out that if I want to be committed to making sure that I go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, that's the only way I can do it.
Yeah.
I might be able to do mini workouts at other times, but that is the guaranteed time when everyone's going to be sleeping. No one's up then. I've managed to be consistent. I might not get there as many times because sometimes if I get up that early in the morning, I'm able to make dinner or do something really early in the morning. And I find it really difficult to make dinner in the evenings after school, especially with the baby. He's in the kitchen opening drawers and things like that. And it's stressful. So I don't like making dinner in the evening. And if they have activities and things like that, sometimes the dinner gets too late. So for me, doing dinner in the evening, if it's dinner in the evening, it means it's for the next day. So I'm doing dinner in the morning, basically ready for later on that night. Sometimes I might get up too late, so I can't really make it to the gym and get back in time for the school run, in which case I'll do that. But it means that I'm able to be consistent with my gym life.
Which is important for your mental health and your
I suffer with anxiety and I wouldn't say I have had depression in the past, but it's just more about making time for me. So I've set those goals in my head of, all right, so say last week I would have only made it to the gym 3 times. Now really, I want to go 5 times. And I found if I set myself a goal of going 5 times a week, I'll normally go 4.
Okay.
So, and then, I do teach dance. So yesterday I was teaching dance all day and my calories I burned like 1,200 or something like that. So I am burning calories, but it's because that's all I know. I'm not toning or doing something for myself. I'm with people, I'm teaching, I'm not on my own, in my own headspace, and doing something for me. It's my job, so it's very difficult because people say, oh yeah, but you teach dance, you don't have to do this, but I do. And everyone's got to do what they've got to do for their own mental health. So those goals are different, but I don't do resolutions, and I have got a vision board, which is still in the box over there. And I've never done one before, and I thought it would be so nice to see people on Instagram posting up pictures of their vision boards. But again, it is something that, what if you don't achieve those things? And how long is the vision board up for? Is it a year? Is it a 5-year vision board? I mean, are you adding to this vision board and taking away? I mean, I've never done a vision board, and I just don't like setting myself up for failure. And often I do feel like a failure. So I don't want to do anything where I'm going to end up feeling like, oh my God, I didn't manage to do that. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do that, because I've done that to myself, and it's so important the way you speak to yourself. It's so important to speak to yourself in a healthy manner, because you're talking to yourself all day long. So if you know your character and you know that you're going to possibly not achieve certain goals, and you're going to end up beating yourself up about it, is it good to even do that thing in the first place? Yeah,
definitely.
So it's a tough one. So my advice would just be know yourself and work within your own capacity, because we're all different.
But being realistic, like honestly being realistic. But then again, I think knowing yourself comes with age.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think I got to, because I turned 40, I think maybe a week after.
I'm November 12th, so what are you?
16th, so a few days. You're the same birthday as my brother, actually.
Oh, really?
Sitting in between 2 Scorpios. So
she's lucky.
That's why I've been bitten a couple of times today.
So I remember prior to being 40 going, I know, like, it's all about knowing myself. Like, being 40 wasn't a thing for me because we don't look 40. So to me, I'm like, girl, whatever, man.
It's them Southern African genes.
Do you know what I mean? But none of us do. Like, I went
true.
to one of my friends' 40th birthdays the other day, and I was like, not one of us has changed. We went into the party, and the boy I went to primary school came up to me and was like, Tem, you all right? And I'm looking at him like, oh my God. And he's like, you haven't changed. And I was like, yeah. It's because I've got a good spirit. No evil in here. But, so yeah, I mean, prior to 40, I said, you know what? This life from now on is about knowing my boundaries, knowing myself and things like that, and being realistic. And once you get to that space, and I think that's where we all are at now. Yeah. Resolutions and things like that become a thing of the past, because you're like, I know myself and I know my capabilities. It's never going to, it's not going to be 100%, but just having that mindset,
that framework to base the rest of your decisions around.
Being less judgy of myself.
Definitely.
If I fail something, I'm not going, oh my God, this is awful. I'm like, you know what?
It is about being realistic, but I do feel that in life, if you're just going to coast through, it depends. We're all different. Because some people sort of think, I'm naturally, I don't know why, but from a teenage and seeing certain things and being exposed to certain things in my life, my chest is high for what I want in my life. So I can't settle,
Yeah, that's
I can't settle, I can't. So I'm always striving for more, and I'm thinking, how can I get to that more? So I'm having a big thing. This is another conversation, but of where the direction of my life and what I'm doing at the moment, is it gonna get me to where I need to get to in my life? So for this year, and by the end of the year, I might be, I don't know, things in my life and my working path might be a lot different to they are now. I don't know for sure. But I do have high expectations, and it depends on how ambitious you are as a person. And some people are quite happy. Oh, I've got to, I've got my 50k. I'm comfortable. I'm alright. I'm okay, happy to stay in this lane. Some people, I've got my 30k. I'm alright with this. I'm happy to stay in this lane. I'm stable. I know that I'm getting this much money a month. I'm alright with this. Some people, it's a home goal. Like, we all have different things that we want out of our life, and I think I've got too many things that I want out of my life. So I definitely need to be realistic and say, okay, what's essential? What do I need?
Yeah.
I've got a family of 3 to be thinking about. Okay, so what do we need? And then, and I think sometimes writing stuff down and, being real, that helps me. Seeing it visually helps. I'm a very visual person. So writing stuff down, okay, what do we need as a family? And what do I feel like I want? And it's a separate, what do I feel like I want? And what do I need?
Oh my God, do you know that thing right there?
I want to buy myself new outfits all the time when I go online. Do I need those new outfits?
No.
No.
And even small things, especially financial, like you say, when you looked at your delivery bill one year, it was a ridiculous amount. Things like coffees, going to Costa Coffee, or we all have our little things. I'm a big go out and love to get a coffee person. It might be drinking, it might be smoking, it might be alcohol, whatever it is. If you actually analyse that and think, oh my God, look at how much I have spent on that. And you might have savings goals. I find it hard to save. I save £2 coins and £5 notes. And I remember in the last tin that I had about £700 in there. And until it wouldn't fill up anymore, basically. When you have to do it with the tin opener. So I've got another one of those. And that's just a small way of helping me to save. It's just a small way. It's not a...
I don't have cash anymore. That's another weird thing. That's something I need to start doing more. Like I did that a couple of weeks ago. I took out cash and I kept my cards at home.
Okay.
Apple Pay is dangerous.
It's bad. And I was like, I had £20 for the week. And I was like, if I need stuff, this is what it's going to be used for. And it can only be essential stuff. The card stays at home, and that was it. And I tell you something, I thought I was balling at the end of that week, because I was like, compared to tapping £3, £4, and it made me conscious that, some days you go, oh, I've left my lunch. Like, now I'll put little things in the cupboard at work, like, toast or stuff. Yeah. I've always got butter. So if I forget my lunch, you better have a slice of toast. You know what I mean?
That buying lunch and coffees and things. It's ridiculous. You could easily go to prep, easily spend £10, £12 in one go. And that's one meal and a snack.
I was at work. We're all working from home. Well, I am anyway. So I'm working from home, have been since the whole corona thing, but the big boss came. So we all had to go in. I was doing a presentation Thursday and Friday. So the first day it was like a novelty to go to prep, because I haven't been to prep for what feels like a lifetime. So I bought myself a little mango pot and a salmon and egg breakfast. £8. £8. I was like, £8.
To Jamaica, go and get a whole load of mango.
I had to take a picture of what I had purchased and take this cost £8. Can you believe this shit?
Yeah. Well,
crazy.
Well, that's it. I think cash as well is taking out that cash and visually seeing it, especially for our children, because sometimes I say to Amira, how much change? And they're sort of growing up in this cashless society. And it is a way of society controlling us. Where do we spend our money? Our consumerism, things like this. And I think actually having cash is much more like, somebody has Apple Pay on their phone, on their watch, and they were like, I was at the gym and they were paying for a shake and they went like this. I was like, oh, I didn't know you could have got your watch. I said, there's no way I'm having it on my watch.
A ring. No.
I'm not having that. Yeah. I'm actually considering taking Apple Pay off my phone, because
I don't even have it.
It is so. I think I'm going to take it off because it is really, really dangerous. It really is.
And it's always sold as but what if you leave your purse at home? It's always there, like it's going to help.
But people have not been leaving their purse at home, or they go home and get it.
I do.
Do you know what? I have to say, there's one thing with technology. I don't follow that trend. I like it again. That thing of me not liking change is a saviour for me sometimes. Because I don't like change, I'm telling you, I started doing internet banking when COVID started. Prior to that, I don't do internet banking. I set up my direct debits, and they go out. But anything else, I would go to the bank and Abbey National and queue up with the 90-year-olds and do whatever I've got to do at the counter. It's only when I was forced to not do it. And I never felt like like I was missing out, because I wasn't missing out. But everybody else in my family will be like, just transfer me that money. But if you want money from me, you have to wait till Saturday, because that's when I did my banking. And I'm going to go to the account.
You know what, you're right,
it's a good way.
It is. Time, it's weird, because my son, he's like, I wish I was born in the 90s. And I remember sitting there, the other day I said it, I went, trust me, you would have loved it, because things are going past us where it's very uncomfortable now. Like, I know someone who got that metaverse thing. I was like, what? Why? Is real life not bad enough for you? That you want to jump into it's crazy. When you're talking about things like that, I'm now realising I'm trying to hold on to the last of the real world.
I do.
You know, and that's why I'm going back to that.
To tell you when to eat.
I have a diary and I write down, and one of my friends is like, why are you still writing in a diary?
I have a good diary.
For me, writing it and seeing it visually is so much easier. And yes, I do use my phone calendar for a lot of things, and it does help. But visually, I like to have it written down like that, and it helps me. Writing something down is quite therapeutic, and ticking it off that list and things like that. I like that way of working.
Well, I'm only here because I put it on my calendar. I took it on a screen, like, remember, and I was like, so I was like, right, and I was like, look, I've written it on my calendar.
Yeah, I've got my calendar.
If that wasn't on my calendar on my wall.
Not happening.
No one would be seeing me. I'd be sleeping still. Even if she texted me last night, because I wake up in the morning, mentally, I look at that thing, go, right, what have we got going on this week? Okay, cool, that's cool. Other than that.
Do you know what? I don't write anything down. Even at work, I have a mental to-do list and I have a mental diary. Apart from official meetings that I'm doing where I have to book in time with a client, or a client has booked timing with me. Other than that, it's here.
Really?
Yeah. But I have quite a clear life. Like, especially now, I don't have a busy life and I don't like it. Like, I listen to Danielle's schedule and I feel like I need to go to sleep after listening to it. It's way too much. That's way too much for me.
A lot for me.
Yeah. I'm like, she's got to do this, then afterwards she's going to go to our friend's house to go and have dinner. You've got to carry 3 kids over there. At some point you're going to have to, it's Sunday. How are you going to prepare for the kids tomorrow? Aren't you going gym tomorrow morning? These are the things I'm thinking when you're giving me your diary.
Like, she's so used to that.
Done.
She's so used to that.
Before I go to bed tonight, I'll get my gym stuff ready and put it in the bathroom. I mean, I'll make sure I'm in by 7 o'clock tonight so that the kids can go to bed.
Can I just point out that you could just not go for that dinner and sort this whole room out? This thing could be done in 30 minutes. I'm just saying. But these are the things.
Let's think about this. I don't have any food to cook today because I knew that I wasn't cooking dinner. So what are we eating if I stay in here? What are we eating? Takeaway on a Sunday?
No, that's not it.
Oh, we were just talking about Sunday, but that's a whole.
We're going to have to end this conversation because we've now gone to we've ventured into other subjects today. We always do this. I hope you've enjoyed listening. I hope it's been a fun conversation. The end result is that we don't have New Year's resolutions.
Nah, not a fan.
We don't have them.
Some of us don't even have life goals, you know. No, I do. Trust me. Next time you see me, I will be a psychologist. No,
my goal, and I will update on this, is I will do a picture of this room as it currently is, and then I'll do a before, in between, and after shot so that everybody can see. And it will
you time stamp it as well.
It will quite heartbreak me, if that is the sentence itself, to show you the room as it currently is, because
it's not that bad.
It is a junk room, and but I really want to appreciate this room in this space. So you know, that's my February 2022 goal. So if you're listening in the future, then just know that's what I was doing back then. What's your February goal? Have you got anything?
I don't necessarily have a February goal, but I think my goal in general is to just continue thinking about my family, my family's happiness, and by family I mean everybody. I've got a mum, I've got a grandma who's 93, appreciating that, spending as much time with them as I possibly can, making sure I'm supporting my daughter through her little transition into secondary school, and my house, I bought a house, so I'm doing one room at a time. My dining room's done, so my next project is my living room.
Okay.
So I want 2022 to be a happy, peaceful time for me and my close ones. And for me, that involves, for me, the top of that list is my family.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, of course I'll go to the gym because I go to the gym. And of course I'll go to work because I go to work. And I definitely...
paying for everything.
Yeah, well, exactly, you know. So
I'm living by a month-by-month plan at the moment because there's a lot of things that are happening in my life this year that are massively other conversations. So I can't even think. My life could have drastically changed in December. So I'm literally doing a month by month. If I have to think about the whole year right now, it overwhelms me and I feel like I'd be in a place, I wouldn't be in a good mental place. So for me, not just this dining room, but I'm just going to continue trying going to the gym in the mornings and keeping up with my fitness because I'm really, really enjoying it. And making sure as well that I get a bit of one-on-one time with all of my children every single week because that's very difficult to carve out. And my daughter needs me in a different kind of way now. She's 12. So it's about making sure that we're getting that time. So my goals are small goals. And then at the end of February, I'll evaluate and say, okay, what I've done my dining room. What am I doing next? And sort of taking the next step and seeing what can I achieve in March. So I think for me, I'm going to be living by a month goal place, and I will have a few work goals that I have to do this month as well. But I'm working by a month basis right now. What about you?
I'm working by the moon. The moon is guiding me. No, I'm joking. No, month by month. You know, like I've got a goal for this year, so I need to go back home. I've got a lot of family stuff going on with my family and stuff, so that's one thing. I want to buy a home, buy a house in South Africa when I say home. And so they're kind of the big goals, you know, and they're going to happen because I'm going to make it happen. But in terms of month by month, again, like you said, my kids, you know, my daughter's 13 this month, and I'm like, oh my God.
Okay, so sorry this has been a little choppy. I had some storage issues on my device. So yeah, we're just going to end that here. We hope you've enjoyed the conversation. And it has been a bit of a mixed one, and it's really hard to stick to one path.
Very.
It is hard because
especially when you chat a lot.
Yeah, we're all chatters, aren't we? Our conversation sort of twirls into other subjects. And as we're having this conversation, we're thinking about so many other conversations that we could be having that are interesting, and we hope that you find it as interesting as we find ourselves in an enjoyment of having it, which really made no sense, but we enjoyed having this conversation, and we hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed talking. So thank you so much. Thank you, Nandi.
Thank you.
Will you come on again?
I will.
Yeah, you've got to come again.
I will. Thanks.
Great. Okay, so please listen up. Listen out for our next podcast. We'll be back every other week. So enjoy listening or viewing, and good luck with your goals setting this 2022. Bye.